Tradition. You can't buy it. It's earned the hard way over decades and eras. On the field, on the road, in the mud. With guts and with grit, and firm belief that today could be our day. The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is back. Still alive, still kicking, the oldest prize in American soccer. 96 teams, part-timers to major leaguers. Survive and move on, lose, and you go home. So we call all underdogs, dreamers, and believers. And we ask you again, one simple question. Are you up for the cup?
It is the 2025 U.S. Open Cup. We come to you from Greenwood Field in Asheville, North Carolina, as Asheville City hosts Greenville Triumph. With the former pro Chris Nurse, I'm Josh Eastern. The USL League 2 side, Asheville City, is hosting this game tonight. They have had a lot of success over the last couple of years under head coach Scott Wells, and always a big chance for those lower league teams in this competition.
Yeah, you may come into tonight's contest saying that Asheville City are the underdogs in comparison to Greenville, but anything can happen in cup competitions. Two very good teams. It's going to be a very exciting game. Obviously, Greenville may have the upper hand given where they are in their season, but we all know there's a lot of surprises in cup competitions.
For Asheville City, forward Simon Carlson, our player to watch, a prolific college career at both West Virginia and Georgia State.
Yeah, obviously, he's not coming into tonight's contest in great form given the season hasn't yet started for Asheville, but 23 years old, he's the captain for this team, taking on a big responsibility of leadership. He has a natural ability to score goals and assists. It's going to be very important on the offense tonight for Asheville.
For the USL League 1 side in Greenville Triumph, a team that has already played 2 games this season, a win and a draw. This is a team that's had a lot of success in USL League 1.
Yeah, that's what we're speaking about. Greenville have had the opportunity to go for a whole pre-season. They're 2 games into their season, coming off a great 3-0 victory. They have a couple of exciting players that we want to keep our eye on. Both Castro and Zakowski, who scored at the weekend, are in the starting lineup tonight.
And Leo Castro, our player to watch, as you mentioned, in the starting lineup, and 2 goals to his name already this season.
Yeah, he has a presence. He has the ability to score goals. He can also create goals for his teammates. Very important player, exciting player to watch.
Our starting lineups tonight, both teams putting out strong 11s, including Greenville, that make only 2 changes from their last league game, which was last Wednesday against Omaha.
Yeah, I think this just leads to the spontaneous things that can happen in cup competitions. For Greenville, you'd expect to see a little bit more cohesion and chemistry between them, given they had the opportunity to play together. For Asheville, of course, this is a little bit of a squad that's just been put together for this competition, but anything can happen. Expect the unexpected.
And we are just about set to go tonight from Asheville. It is a perfect night for soccer, perfectly sunny skies, 62 degrees. That is exactly what you'd want on a night like this. And a big night here in Asheville after the hurricane and the flooding at the end of last year, the beginning of fall. This is a community that always wants to rally around their teams, and a chance to do that here tonight with Asheville City in the first round of the Open Cup. Greenville Triumph has had some success in this competition. Last year, they won 2 games in the same tournament for the first time. But now this is a Greenville side that is playing their 5th straight road game in the U.S. Open Cup. While Asheville City making just their 2nd appearance in this competition. They played Knoxville last year. They lost 2-0. So still looking for that first goal. But for so many of these players that have played in college, only one real pro on their team. That's Johnny Fennick, who plays at the back for them. But what an opportunity this is tonight for these Asheville players.
Yeah, and head coach Scott Wells did allude that he feels like his side, his organization, his club, a little bit more prepared this year than they were last year. They got a little taste of how the competition runs last year. They kind of know who they can and they can't recruit. They know who they can play and they can't play. And they feel like they've had a little bit more time to put this roster together, or maybe select players to be available for this game. So he's expecting to put up tough competition tonight. For Greenville, obviously, they're starting a lot of the players who competed the weekend and got a fantastic 3-0 victory. Some great individual performances, but all around collectively a great game at the weekend. 3 goals and a clean sheet. So they'll be looking to continue that form tonight.
Our referee is John Rush, who blows his whistle and sends us on our way. 90 minutes and maybe more tonight here from Greenwood Field in Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville in the blue, it is Greenville in the green tops as we get this one underway tonight. Greenville has had some relative success in this competition, 4-4 record overall. They reached the third round in 2 editions in 2022 and then last year. This is a team that has played some higher level teams. They played a Phoenix Rising. They were able to host an Oakland Roots. They were able to host a Charlotte FC. And now they come on the road to this Asheville side who is going to be hungry, and they're looking here early on. This cross comes in all the way through. It was Giannis Lelin who sent that cross away from this left side, and now Greenville can get some time on the ball.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see that Greenville actually showing Asheville a decent amount of respect in the opening phase of this game. You'd imagine Greenville being the team that competes in a higher tier, pressing them from the front, being aggressive and going after them. But they actually stood off Asheville from the beginning of the game, allowed the centre-backs to have the ball without pressuring them. So it shows that they're actually showing Asheville a decent amount of respect going into this game.
Now, Rick Wright told us earlier this week that last year this was a Greenville team that played on the road against the South Carolina United Bantams. And he said, well, the field wasn't necessarily that great. Just by our pictures here, it does look a little bit bumpy, a few dead spots, so Greenville might be a little bit more used to that this time around than they were last year, but he said we just carried on. It was a good competitive match last year.
Yeah, and I think it's important to take the field and the environment into circumstances. Obviously, when you're playing tiki-taka like Pep Guardiola or Barcelona, they're playing on perfect surfaces with the best players in the world. When you're playing in a cup competition against maybe a team playing at a higher level on a bad surface, maybe you need to adapt the way that you play in order to be successful at the end of the night, because there's one thing having a style of play and there's another thing going about to get the result. And I think cup competitions, it's all about the result. Of course, you don't want to deviate completely from your style of play, but you have to take that into consideration.
It's Lelin coming forward for Asheville, moves it out wide for Brennan Creek. Creek lays it off, a chance to settle things here. Strine back for Creek. Roll this towards the top of the area. Chance to look infield now again for Asheville. Cut back towards the penalty spot. A lot of room there. Creek going to ground to keep this alive. And Asheville will keep this. Another cross fired in. It is taken by the goalkeeper tonight, Seth Torman. His Greenville debut coming in for starting goalkeeper Gunther Rankenberg. Torman, who played last year with the LA Force in Nisa.
2 great crosses coming into the box in the first 5 minutes of this game for Asheville. You have Barker and Strine in the midfield. They just need to gamble a little bit and make runs into the box, and they'd have easy tap-ins. There's 2 good chances there, but just nobody's been making the run into the box. But in the opening 5 minutes so far, I think Asheville have had a good start. I think Greenville, being the higher-ranked team, probably need to wake up and realize they're in for a competition. It's not going to be a walkover like they might have expected.
Asheville starting out on the ball. You don't normally see those lower league teams try to take the game to the opponent, but that's what they want to do from the opening whistle tonight. This is floated over the top. Brennan Fricky is there. Now Tyler Pollock, 2 of the most experienced players on the field for Greenville. Over the top for Leo Castro. It's Mao Wong who heads it into the corner, and it ends up out of play.
I think Greenville will grow into the game. I think maybe mentally and psychologically, they started the game probably with not the right mindset. You can see they're not that aggressive in closing down, in pressing. You can see they're a little bit relaxed in possession of the ball. And they're allowing Asheville to dominate possession of the game right now. You'd expect the higher tier team to be a little bit more aggressive going after recovering the ball, putting Asheville under pressure, but they've not done that so far in this game. You can kind of see a little jogging around, pressuring but not really pressuring. I think as the game goes on, they'll grow into it and change their mentality a little bit.
You mentioned it too, the fitness levels for these Asheville players. As you get into the later stages, they may not be able to knock it around like they want to because they might just be a little bit fatigued. They aren't going through a full preseason in games like Greenville has so far. Yeah,
and I think for Greenville, the ideal scenario would be to have a fast start, potentially take the lead by 2 or 3 goals, and then be able to rest some of your main players. The longer they allow this game to sustain and Asheville to stay in it, they're going to have to keep their main players out there longer at this phase of the season. And playing midweek weekend, it can take its toll on players. So ideally, they'd want to get off to a fast start and control the game and take the lead. But that's not been the case in these opening 5 minutes so far.
Again, Asheville able to win the ball back, and they'll look to work it around.
And as you mentioned, Josh, it is a difficult surface. So passing the ball around the back is a little bit more risky on this surface than it is on a smooth surface.
That was a great first touch off his chest by Giannis Lelin, but it was taken away, and then a whistle, and a free kick will go to Greenville. Rick Wright, the head coach for Greenville, only making 2 changes in the lineup. One of them coming at goalkeeper, the other one because Pascal Corvino is out injured tonight. Aside from that, it is the same squad that faced Union Omaha last Wednesday, a 3-0 win for the Triumph. Castro scoring twice, Ben Zakowski adding a goal for himself as well.
Yeah, and I think that speaks volumes of how serious the staff are taking the competition, that they're putting out their best roster. Sometimes players can lack a little bit of mentality when they come out in these competitions and they feel like they're facing an inferior opponent. We've seen it happen in the FA Cup. Big teams, Liverpool top teams, sometimes getting overturned by non-league teams or lower league teams because you don't approach the game with the same mindset. Or you're on a surface like this where you're not able to play your normal style of play.
When you show up as a player and see a surface like this, what goes through your head?
I think if you're the lower level team, you love it because it makes things a little bit more even. You're able to close players down, the ball kind of levels out the game for both teams, and now it becomes more about your competition and your fight more so than about your technique and ability to move the ball.
Asheville has started out on the front foot tonight through about 7 minutes. Here's Josh Baker.
That being said, I think Asheville have done a good job in these opening 7 minutes of moving the ball on this difficult surface.
I talked to head coach Scott Wells. He said a lot of these players came in on Thursday. They were able to have a few training sessions as Lelin loses this out of play. May have been offside anyway. So only a few training sessions together, maybe getting used to this field a little bit, but more so just trying to get used to each other through these first few days of training, and maybe more if they're able to advance.
Yeah, and I think while Asheville have got off to a fast start, lacking that match practice, that pre-season over the course of 90 minutes, I think that will show its head at some point. So while they have had maybe the more dominant 10 minutes, maybe they'll continue for 30 minutes. I think half-time and beyond, they may have to adjust how they're playing a little bit because the tired legs, the fatigue, the lack of match fitness, all of those aspects will start to kick in.
Torman will start it from the back. Bub moves it out wide. PJ Benton looking in field. Evan Lee hassled in the middle. And Johnny Fennick gets this all the way back in goal tonight. Francois Djiba from Senegal, part of the Senegal under-20s. He spent some time with them, also played his college soccer at Lindsey Wilson College. Greenville looking to play out Bub, and now Benton. Turn back for Zane Bub, formerly with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Touch there for Louis Chapa Herrera. And Greenville able to find a way out through some of that Asheville pressure. Tyler Pollock. Again, it's Chapa Herrera.
We want him to turn and give it to you again. Isaiah, stay. Isaiah, stay. Stay high. Come on. One more. DJ speed.
Not really seen much action from either goalkeeper in these opening 9 minutes. Despite a decent amount of possession for both of these teams right now, nobody's really created anything meaningful.
Pollock running forward there. This ball runs out of play, and a goal kick on the way for Asheville. This is the first round of the 110th edition of this competition. The second round, which will be played in a couple of weeks, will just be the 32 winners from this round. And then the third round will be obviously the winners from the second round and the 16 USL Championship teams that will enter at that stage. Then we'll get 16 MLS teams that come in the round of 32. Castro trying to turn it upfield. Cut off. And it's Djiba who gets it away.
You have to give Asheville credit for how they've started the game. very brave in possession of the ball.
It's Brennan Creek who's able to move it out wide. Another chance to potentially cross here for Asheville. Instead, they elect to keep the ball. This is turned over. Castro is being pressured in the middle. Greenville able to keep it now. Connor Evans gives it away. Evans, the first-year pro out of Stanford and then Portland, where he played his final years of his college soccer.
Castro's a player that Wong and Fenwick are going to have to mark very closely. He only needs half a chance to score a goal, as he showed at the weekend. Very dangerous striker.
Jiba floats it towards midfield. Another one by Greenville. Evans again looking for Evan Lee. Evan Lee, who's mostly played a deeper role in his career, a little bit higher up the field tonight for Greenville. Floated over the top, headed, and into the hands of Francois Jiba. Good defending there from Asheville. Johnny Fennick on this back line for Asheville. Formerly a pro in the USL Championship with the likes of San Antonio, Las Vegas, Tulsa, and Sacramento. A big signing for Asheville to get for this competition. Team that is in USL League 2, so they play during the summer. It's almost exclusively collegiate players, but to get a pro like Fennick on that back line is crucial.
Yeah, he brings experience to the squad of being in these situations before, so it's not a game that he's going to have any nerves over, having played at the level he's played and competed in the Open Cup a number of times over the years. So he's able to bring that kind of calmness, pressure, presence, and experience to this group.
This is turned over, and maybe something on Creek, trying to save it on the far side. He kept that ball in play. Pollock going shoulder to shoulder there, and a whistle. It's a free kick. Isaiah Vignali, the one cut down, and a yellow card is out for Tyler Pollock here in just the opening 12.5 minutes.
I'm not sure I agree with the yellow card, and I think it's 50-50 whether it could even be a free kick. I think he does a good job of winning the ball. I think that's very harsh to give him a yellow card for that tackle. It didn't even look like the referee was going to make the call at first. It wasn't until the linesman put his flag up that he was convinced to blow his whistle. But I'm not sure what he saw that warranted a yellow card.
Pollock now takes it. He's into the book. An important player to have on a yellow card in these opening few minutes.
And him being able to make tackles and dangle his foot is part of his game. So now he's going to have to up his game for the remaining 75 minutes.
Another chance to put one in the box here for Asheville. An in-swinger right on top of goal. Headed away, came right back to where it started. Carlson moves it out wide. Another chance to lift one in. This one much too close to Seth Torman in goal. Possession just about even in these opening 14 minutes of play. Made through the lines. Evan Lee turning it back. Loaded out wide. Here's Evans again. Prolonged possession here for Greenville. Pollock got a touch to it. Greenville able to keep it. Now DJ Benton. Asheville trying to win this back, but it's moved out wide. Now cut back towards the top of the penalty area. Pollock crashing forward, trying to connect with Ben Zukowski, who turns it back. Zukowski.
A great ball into the box there from Evans. Again, just no midfielders timing the run into the box. Both teams have played kind of similar passes at moments, and both midfielders just being a little bit cautious, holding back a little bit rather than taking the risk and gambling forward. And we know no risk, no rewards. You need that midfielder who's a little bit risky, who's willing to make those runs and has good timing and understanding.
Evans again. Zane Bubb through the middle. Castro, there's two players around him. Castro, it's play on still. Referee letting him go a little bit tonight. Now it's played in the middle and then played out into space. Isaiah Vignali chasing after it. Vignali looks infield, top of the area, chance to shoot. Carlson, shot blocked. Mishandled there by Evans. And now Asheville able to settle things again. That was the first shot of the game, and it comes for Asheville. They've been the team on the front foot tonight.
Carlson stamping his authority on the game so far. He starts with that play by playing the ball in behind. He then carries on his run to the edge of the box, is the one who receives it back and is able to take the shot. Some good build-up play from Asheville.
Broken up in the middle, Evan Lee. And Lee was fouled. Free kick, Josh Baker committing that foul. Baker, who's actually started his coaching career. He's 26 years old. A former player in college.
Strine in the middle of the park, screaming for the ball there. Defender just takes too long to get the ball out of his feet and find him, ends over turning over position. But midfielders are doing a good job of making themselves available.
Chance to whip one in now for Greenville as this header's across the face of goal and out of play. Looked like Zukowski was the closest one to it there for the triumph.
And I think that's where the success is going to come. As I said, there's been a lot of passing, but the goalkeepers haven't really been tested as yet. And we see the first moment of danger comes from a direct cross into the box, and it just glances wide of the post.
Locked down, out of play. They'll start it from the back again.
I'm always intrigued by these new ways of teams playing out from the back. You don't used to be the goalkeeper puts it down and hits it as far as he can. Now the defenders are giving it to the goalkeeper on his goal line, and it's intriguing to see what the objective is when some of these plays play out.
I think they're going to try that this time. No reason to mess around with anything silly out of the back.
Hey, if it's a preseason friendly, you try, but in a knockout competition, again, I think you have to weigh up the risk and reward. You have to weigh up the strengths and weaknesses of your team from a playing perspective, a technical perspective, and then you also have to weigh up the surface shot. You could play a perfect pass, and as it arrives at your teammate on this type of surface, it bubbles up and game over.
Well, that'd be a goal kick for Greenville, and we'll see what they decide to do here.
I think it would be naive not to take that into consideration. If you're already in control of the game, you're 3-0 up, then of course you may then opt to play like that. But
there's always that conversation of, well, you can play out of the back, but should you play out of the back?
You have to have the players to play out of the back.
Yeah.
It cannot be a blanket of by any means necessary. I think that is self-sabotage.
A lot of variables that can go into that, especially playing its team against in a higher league, players who haven't necessarily played together a whole lot. We'll see how that plays out for Asheville as this game goes along.
And of course, the passes have to have purpose. If you're passing the ball and not creating goal-scoring opportunities or testing the goalkeeper, then it also bodes questions to the purpose of moving the ball or passing the ball. If it's just for the sake of racking up passes or not turning over possession, it's not an effective means of playing.
And a yellow card is out here, which means a free kick on the way for Greenville.
Yellow card for number 6, Galen Flynn.
Here's it's Galen Flynn into the book.
Referee's a little eager with his cards tonight. Again, it's nothing malicious. It's definitely a foul, but it's nothing that I would say warrants him going into the book. Players on both teams will have to be careful.
Evans stands over it, flipping this one towards goal. Bodied away, all the way into the corner. Asheville able to clear this as far as Anguiano. Another ball floated in. There's nobody there in a green shirt, and an easy take for Francois Jiba.
It's a good delivery into the box there from Zakowski. Again, he just needs somebody gambling. The winger on the right-hand side, probably Evans on this occasion, making a run at the far post.
Another challenge put in, this one by Benton. Castro wins it back, slips it forward. Now the layup ball, and it's cleared away. A corner kick on the way for Greenville.
It could be great defending here. I'm guessing it has to be great. That's a great tackle to begin to create this opportunity. Castro plays in behind, and it is brilliant defending in the end. I think if Zakowski smashes that first time, it's in the back of the net, but he takes a little bit longer. I think Fenwick is who's able to get back and knock it away.
Now the in-swinger from the corner kick. Here right back to him, and they'll do it again.
But you see the end product when they do put players under pressure in the defensive third, they're able to win back and create scoring opportunities pretty quickly. It's taken to the 20th minute for Greenville to start acting like that.
Again, headed out of play. Maybe third time's the charm here for Greenville. Another service, this one more depth on it. Played back towards goal, and the shot by Carlos Anguiano is out of play. Right about at the midway point of this first 45 minutes. And this Asheville City side, a team that reached the USL League 2 national semifinals a year ago. They went 10-0-2 in the regular season. A very successful year for Scott Wells and company in his third year in charge of Asheville City. And he said there was a bit of a bitter taste left in the team's mouth. It felt like they were the best team left. They went into that semifinal against Seacoast and said they outshot them 20-2. And in a cup competition, it's one and done. You have a good day, but it doesn't go your way and you're out of it. That's, I guess, how Asheville could feel tonight going into this one.
Yeah, but it happens many times in games. Of course, the only objective of both of these teams is to be in the hat in the next round and in the draw.
So played towards the top of the area. It's Evan Lee going low, deflected and taken by Jiba.
It's another great delivery here from Evans on the right-hand side. Not quite sure how that ball manages to find its way all the way across to Lee, but even I think he may be shocked that it ends up at his feet. Just drives it right through the defense. And again, the bobble does play a role on a smooth surface. Maybe he gets a better connection with that and test the goalkeeper, but
Lelin keeps it in play. Chance on the overlap, but it's put into the middle. Dealt with by Zane Bubb, and Evans gets it out. Here's Evan Lee. Good work in the middle again by Asheville, and it draws the foul. That's Mao Wong coming forward and winning that ball back for Asheville.
Excellent defending there from Wong. He just reads the play. He's aggressive, closes down, stays tight to the attacker. Ends up winning a free kick in the end. Brilliant defending.
Wong, who is from Ecuador, also played at Lindsey Wilson College. Same college as the goalkeeper tonight, Francois Jiba.
We said that Wong and Fenwick are going to have to be at the top of their game to keep Castro quiet tonight, and they've done a decent job so far. We've not really had any.
This is turned over. Evans, hassled in the middle by Carlson. Evans keeps it alive. Anguiano keeps it moving. Zane Bob just has to come forward and play this over the top and out of play.
Wong and Fenwick have done a good job so far of keeping Castro quiet. There's the one moment when they win the ball high and Castro plays the flick in behind. But then again, it was good defending, I think, from Fenwick, who was able to intercept the ball and knock it out.
Really relatively quick trip. Oh, this is turned over. Evans as Jiba slipped. Evans tries to switch the point of attack, looking for Zukowski. It runs out of play. Well, those are the conditions of this field coming into play. Jiba gets lucky that it was maybe mishit here by Evans.
I'm not sure what Evans was up to with that delivery. A little bit more quality on that pass, and for sure is a great opportunity for Greenville to test the goalkeeper.
For Greenville, it's a relatively quick trip, just 59 miles between Furman University and here on the campus of UNC Asheville. 59 miles coming pretty much straight north here to Asheville, North Carolina, a beautiful part of the country. Possession now just swinging back in favor of Greenville. Evans going to play this forward. It's Benton getting tangled up here, and a yellow card will go to Giannis Lelin.
That's a yellow card for number 3, Giannis Lelin Vegas.
Great build up here between Evans and Benton. Just waits for Benton to make the run in behind. Great through pass, doesn't even have to change his stride from Evans. Definitely a free kick, and I definitely agree with the referee on this one about branching his yellow card. Dangerous situation should Benton have been able to get onto that ball. Greenville now is starting to feel their way into the game a little bit. The ball's been in their attacking half for a sustained period of time. Asheville now struggling to get out their defensive third.
Three-man wall, another player in front of Jiba in goal. Evans will go to it now. This one hit out of play. Nothing doing there for Greenville on the dead ball. Ben Zukowski trying his luck.
Deliveries have been poor from dead ball situations from Greenville so far. Not giving the attackers anything to attack. It's either over here, out of play. Frustrating for the strikers.
That's the first night of the 2025 U.S. Open Cup. Already some games in action. Hartford up over New York Shockers by 2-0. Miami FC beating Naples United currently by 2-0 as well. This is moved down the line. It was Salia Carr trying to cut it in field. He was taken off the ball, but Asheville able to win it back.
Yes, I am. Sorry, I have to bend down and get to my phone.
Up, Connor!
Trying to turn this upfield. Vignali put out of play. Throw-in coming for Carr and Asheville.
I think the first goal in this game is going to be important. If Greenville get it, I think it will take the wind out of the sails for Asheville, and they'll kind of collapse a little bit. However, if Asheville get it, I just feel like the momentum will keep building for them. They'll continue to have a little bit more belief, maybe even become a little bit more defensive and make it extremely difficult for Greenville. I think the first goal is going to be a very important teller on where this situation ends tonight.
Contested header there in the middle. Runs out of play, and another throw-in going to Asheville, right in front of the South Slope Blues supporters section there on the far side. Hanging on the drums, making some noise here at Greenwood Field. Pollock for Lee. Touched ahead, quick passing here from Greenville. It's cut in field, chance to shoot, and it's wide. Good stuff there from Greenville. They do get a corner kick out of it.
Be interested to see if this deflects wide or if it actually ends up being a good save. Brilliant play on the outside here. I think it deflects off the defender's leg, out for a corner kick.
Again, it's Connor Evans striding over to take this corner kick for Greenville. The in-swinger lifted in. Couldn't get it by Salia Card, the near post. Now it's Polak. And out of play. Came through with his laces there, trying to make this 1-0.
Good defensive header there from Carr. Leaps like a salmon and heads away to danger. The ball just lands at the edge of the box. It's not a bad volley, just needs to keep his head over the ball and get it on target. Connects with it a little bit too well.
Minutes gone. Greenville, as you mentioned, has built into this game up to 4 shots now. Only 1 shot so far for Asheville. It was right from the top of the air, and it was a blocked shot. With all that momentum in the early going, able to pay it off. Jiba sends it long, connects with Giannis Lelin. A very heavy first touch. Bub back for Torment, had to be quick. And now some of that pressure there from Asheville, and that forces the turnover. So even though they don't win the initial ball going long, they do get a throw-in in the attacking third.
It's a great diagonal ball from Jiba, and that's what I was speaking about. It doesn't have to be 16 passes in your own half before you're able to threaten the opponents. It's a brilliant ball in behind. A better first touch, and he's through on goal. The goalkeeper looked like he was glued to his line. He should have really come out and cleaned it up. So you can already see the threat. If they're able to get the ball in behind this defensive line, there's a little bit of disconnection between the goalkeeper and the defenders, and there's an opportunity there.
Back for Torment. Torment now sends it long and straight out of play. Torment did play twice in the Open Cup last year for LA Force. Played against the Redlands, a 2-1 win, Redlands FC, and then a 1-0 loss against Spokane Velocity. The Velocity, who will play tomorrow in the Open Cup against Ballard FC in the Pacific Northwest. Polak able to keep it.
Polak's had a good opening 30 minutes. Apart from his yellow card, he's been solid so far for Greenville.
One back in the middle here by Asheville. Polak there closing down defensively. Carlson looking for options. Waited too long, ends up committing a foul. Polak, who has been a cornerstone of this club since it started, now in his 7th season with the club, co-captain, 2-time All-USL League One first-team player in the first couple of years of the league. And he continues to be a staple at left back.
It's been a fairly even opening 35 minutes to this game. Neither team really stamping their authority as being superior in terms of style of play or technical ability. Both teams kind of sparring with each other, feeding each other out. And that's a credit to Asheville, as we spoke about, of where they are in their preparations and not being deep into their season right now in comparison to Greenville that had a full preseason and two games deep.
Rick Wright talked about wanting to add some depth to this team. They wanted to take a step up this year after finishing in 4th place last year. They ended up winning 1 playoff game, but then lost to Union Omaha in the semifinals on the road, the eventual League One champions. This is Greenville's 7th season in existence, 2020 League One champs, but they finish in the top 3 in 5 of the 7 seasons of existence. Made the playoffs every year. This is a team that is always in the mix in League One.
And of course, they were 3-0 winners against Omaha at the weekend, so you're looking to see that dominance or that confidence in that performance continue tonight. And it's not been bad, but maybe we're expecting a little bit more dominance in this opening 35 minutes. considering the result that they had over the weekend and the way in which they won that result.
Rick Wright said that was a big day for the club. Ronaldinho was there. They had a groundbreaking for their new stadium. A big, big day, especially against the defending champions. And then to go out and win 3-0. It's an important win for the Triumph.
And of course, that gives added motivation to a team like Asheville. You're coming up against a team who has Ronaldinho as a part owner. That only inspires you to play a little bit harder.
A foul there on the far touchline, right in front of the supporters section.
Castro and Carlson coming together.
Free kick here for Asheville, approaching halftime.
Get up, Mal! Mal, get up! Hey! How's that not a foul? He's jumped over it. What is John watching? He's fully jumped over the player.
People disagreeing with maybe a no call there, but continue on here for Asheville. Asheville able to keep the ball here with Josh Baker. Deflected forward. Nali trying to lay this off and cleared away. Brennan Creek was closest there to it for Asheville. Now Evans. And put out a play by Vignali. Throw-in going Greenville's way.
Good defending from Herrera just outside the box there. Staying with the runner and making it very difficult for Asheville to play their 1-2s.
Here's Benton looking in fields. Greenville will start it again from the back with Fricky and now Polak. Polak rolls it forward. It's a loose ball in the middle. Turned over again, Evan Lee. Good defending there. It's it's Galen Flynn again. Down the line, cut back, and nothing on. Going to ground again. Another challenge put in by Polak.
Again, we spoke about he has to be careful, but that's naturally part of his game. It's an instinct, but with the way the referee is giving out yellow cards, he's going to have to be very, very careful. He's going to have to be a little bit more patient and maybe not go in for every tackle like he normally does.
Polak couldn't keep that one in play on the return ball from from Chapa Herrera.
Get out! Good!
Play it into space, and there's just a bit of miscommunication between him and Giannis Leland, and those are some of the moments where not playing together, this being really the first time that they're playing a game on the same field together, could be coming into play.
Yeah, just lacking that little bit of chemistry and cohesion and the subconscious ability to read each other's cues and body language.
Turned over again. Asheville looking towards goal. Chance to lay this off. The shot going low. And an easy save for Seth Torman. It was Josh Baker on the connection. Second shot of the game for Asheville. Now Evans hits the long switch of play. Zukowski chasing after it. He gets there. Back again, Anguiano for Chapa Herrera. He was bumped, fouled, free kick. Another chance to swing this in for Greenville.
Baker giving away that free kick. I was a little stunned because I saw another captain's armband. I thought Carlson was the captain. Looks like there's two captains, both Baker and Carlson.
Evans, along with Zukowski, stand over it. Looks like this is going to be all Connor Evans. Zukowski bluffs, Evans stands over it, he goes for goal. It was headed in front and out of play, corner kick on the way.
Good defending there from Strine. It wasn't an easy ball, you could see it dips over the wall and it's on target. Strine does well as he's backpedaling to just glance it away for a corner kick.
In-swinging ball, back post. It was met by Castro right on the top of the 6-yard box and out of play. That's exactly where you want to put it.
It's a great delivery there. Zukowski just whips this in with pace and venom. Castro just needs to guide it down, and that's in the back of the net. There's no way to defend a delivery like that. Zukowski clearly has some magic in that left foot. If you give him time and space, a player who can punish you.
Jiba sends it away. Final 3 minutes plus stoppage time in the first half.
I think Asheville will be happy to go in halftime 0-0. As we spoke about, fitness is always going to be an issue for them in this game, but if they're able to keep the game tight, 0-0 halftime, go inside, regroup, a chance to get their legs back and strategize how they're going to go after Greenville in the second half. I think so far, Coach Wells will be very happy with his team's opening performance in the first half.
We talked earlier about Greenville maybe want to find an early goal to not necessarily rotate players, but to at least get some fresh legs onto the field with the season ongoing in League One as well. But Asheville's not made that easy, although Greenville have had the better of the chances tonight. Just a couple of shots for Asheville.
Yeah, and we spoke about Asheville's possession and passing the ball. Greenville have had eight shots. Asheville have only had 2 shots. Albeit Asheville have actually had more shots on target than Greenville. Greenville are yet to register a shot on target. Asheville have had 1 shot on target so far in this game.
Back for Torman. Polak through the middle. Here's Evan Lee playing it down the line. It's cut back for Leo Castro. Evan Lee. Herrera. Distribution out wide. Almost a bit too hot to handle, but Evans is able to collect. DJ Benton sends the cross away. Jiba sprawling out to make the catch.
Great goalkeeping from Jiba. Benton just, you can see he just puts a little too much on that cross. It's in the air a little bit too high for his teammates. Comfortable height for the goalkeeper. Oh, it's a little unorthodox landing.
Whatever you got to do, you got to hold on to it. Another long ball over the top, looking for that Route 1 is Asheville. Good burst of pace through the middle for Herrera, who slides it forward and could not connect with Castro. Castro getting the start up top again. The new number 9 for Greenville after Liam McKinnon, the USL League One Player of the Year from a year ago, who has moved on to Orange County. It's Rodrigo Robles who has taken his number 9 shirt, a former Asheville player last year, but is not fit to play tonight, which I'm sure is a bummer for Robles, but no doubt watching on. Into stoppage time. Second ball picked up. Maybe a chance to shoot. It slid down the line. Giannis Leland to the end line, put towards goal, and taken by Torman.
It was a chance to shoot. I'm not sure why he didn't shoot. He's in the center of the goal. He's just outside the 18-yard box, and he chooses to play the ball wide to Lennon rather than take responsibility on himself and take a shot here. Carlson ends up being a fairly straightforward cross for the goalkeeper to gather.
It's just 1 minute of stoppage time, which we are 30 seconds through. Rolled forward again. Good pressure there by Brennan Fricke. Had to get that one right, though, right on the edge of the area. So one more chance for Greenville. Benton cuts it in. Good pressure there by Strine. Now Evans. And the referee brings this first half to a close. The lower league team, Asheville City, hanging right in there with the USL League One side in Greenville. But at the break, no score.
Yeah, I think if you're Asheville, you're the happier of the two teams going in at halftime. I think for Greenville, they want to see more of that performance they had at the weekend, beating Omaha 3-0. Not so much, too much of that in this opening half. I think Asheville come out in the second half with more belief, more courage, and go on and push for that opening goal because they know they can't afford to sit back.
We are at the break here from Asheville, North Carolina. It's Asheville City 0 and Greenville Triumph 0. Stay tuned.
Go grab some ice cream from the hop. Get yourself a game day jersey. And go high five the South Slope Blues. Asheville City Soccer Club would like to thank Chuck Roberts Real Estate. Attention fans, are you ready to make a winning move into the world of real estate? Whether you're looking for a new home or an exclusive luxury property, Chuck Roberts Real Estate is the team to trust. Chuck Roberts offers an unmatched service and expertise to help you find your dream home or secure the best investment. With years of experience and a passion for delivering results, Chuck Roberts is your trusted real estate partner. Visit www.stacyclinchuck.com or call 828-777-3152 today to get started. Make your next move a game changer with Chuck Roberts. We're local real estate experts. Asheville City Soccer Club would like to thank Summit Coffee, building communities with remarkable and approachable coffee with locations in the Grove Arcade and the River Art District truck, which you can find right over there next to the entrance.
Halftime tonight from Asheville, North Carolina. No score between Asheville City and Greenville Triumph. Well, back at the end of September, Hurricane Helene hit the Asheville region, and it was widespread devastation. Let's see how the soccer community has tried to recover.
ABASA is Asheville Buncombe Adult Soccer Association, bringing soccer to the community of Asheville for the adult population here.
We serve about 1,200 players in the Asheville area.
Anybody who wants to play, we'll find a place for them.
We've got co-ed, we've got all women, we've got men as well. Just a wholesome set of adults participating in the sport of soccer.
We were getting ready to have a really good fall season. We were really ready for, end of the year tournaments and stuff like that. And then the disaster happened. It ended up being something that none of us were prepared for.
We were about 3 to 4 games into the fall season when Hurricane Helene hit.
Not only were the fields washed away, but the goals, everything just gone. The roads leading in and out, the bridge leading into the fields.
It's my first time on ground zero here, looking at a field that I'm used to playing on, that my kids have been playing on. No longer being here is tragic. I mean, I feel like I'm going through a traumatic experience.
Pretty emotional seeing the destruction. There's so much sediment, trees, there's a truck on the field, so much debris. You wouldn't really know that there's turf and soccer fields out there.
We don't know where to go. We don't know when we'll be able to return. Looking at the stuff that I'm looking at now, I can't see a way back. Without the help of the community, without the help of all the participants, all the family members, everyone who loves soccer, Asheville is a soccer community. It's extremely important that we get back to being the community that we love, and that's through the sport of soccer.
Getting back to soccer is so important because it means so much to people here.
For many, this is like their therapy, just being out here. It just washes away all the day's woes and their frustrations from work or whatever, and also the exercise. I know I personally don't like running unless there's a ball involved.
People can support in a variety of ways, but really we have a lot of unknowns coming up, and any type of financial support would really be appreciated.
Donations will help, fundraising will help, support, any kind of volunteering will help. I think we're all kind of reeling from what has occurred, and so sometimes what's most important is be able to take a breath and get back to the way things were before, but we need help for that. Abasa would extremely appreciate the support that's given, whatever it may be, at this time.
This year's home matches will be brought to you by Independent Arts and Music of Asheville, IamAVL.com, preserving and promoting our city's creative community. Find thousands of shows in the archives and daily live streams from the city's greatest venues, festivals, and events. IamAVL.com. Don't stay home without it. Asheville City Soccer Club proudly presents our Summer Skills Academy Camp, happening from July 8th to July 11th, 2025. We're thrilled to offer another opportunity for youth players to sharpen their skills and enjoy the beautiful game. Come join us for an unforgettable experience on the
From Asheville, North Carolina, it's Asheville City and Greenville Triumph. Still looking for a goal in the second 45 minutes of action, but plenty of other action going on around the U.S. Open Cup tonight. Chris, it's always fun. We get cup sets or potential cup sets at this point in the competition, even in this first round. And the Chattanooga Red Wolves, they're down to 10, and they are already up against it. Miami FC, they're looking good early.
Yeah, it's good to see Miami FC pick up a, well, it's early yet, the game's not over, but it looks like they may pick up a win. It's been a while since we've seen them the victors, but they seem to be on top against Naples United tonight. Hartford doing as they should, 3-0 win against New York Shockers. Interested if Chattanooga are able to turn this game around with just 30 minutes remaining.
Still some other games going on. There's just a few USL Championship teams that are also in this competition. FC Tulsa and Loudoun both entering in this round one.
Yeah, there's no blowaway scores right now. As you can see, everything's fairly tight, which is good at this stage of the competition. It's going to be interesting to see how these games finish up, but I think we're in for a few cup sets tonight for sure.
Let's see what we get. Tomorrow, it is a very busy slate. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and we go pretty much from coast to coast.
Yeah, you had to be licking your lips at that game with Miami United and Inter Miami CF2. Miami United have a pretty strong roster in Suar. Some very, very interesting players playing for Miami United over the past couple of years. And obviously, Inter Miami CF2, a number of academy players and first-team players make that squad up. So that's going to be a tantalizing encounter.
And takes us all the way out west. Ballard FC, Spokane Velocity. Those two teams played each other last year. But also El Farolito, the Burrito Boys, they'll be going to Utah to take on Real Monarchs.
Yeah, and we also have LAFC 2 up against FC Arizona, El Paso Locomotive. Some interesting fixtures out there tomorrow.
A few more of those USL Championship sides going in tomorrow. We are getting set for the second half. We'll step aside for a moment, and we will get you ready for the second 45 minutes. Almost set for the second 45 minutes of action. No score between Asheville City and Greenville Triumph. Highlights from the first 45 minutes of action. And no goals to show you, but from the get-go, it was Asheville on the front foot.
Yeah, as we spoke about, a number of dangerous crosses that came in, but nobody able to convert anything on target. In the first half, there was a astounding total of just one shot on target from both teams combined. Number of clear, close chances from Greenville, having 8 shots in total, but nothing that registered on target that really gave the goalkeeper any threat.
Most threatening team, though, was Greenville Triumph, and as the half moved along, they built into the game even more.
Yeah, Evans' deliveries from this right-hand side of the field has been very good, but we see the pitch made things a little bit difficult here. A good ball across the box, just bobbled up at the wrong moment, unable to get the strike on target.
As the half continued on, this may be one of the better chances, but a big block put in by Galen Flynn. Many corner kicks as well, but just nothing quite there from Greenville through 45 minutes. Well, that's the lone shot on target of the game, if that tells you anything. And these are the match stats. No shots on target for Greenville. They did have a little bit more of the ball, even though Asheville started out on the front foot.
Yeah, I think Asheville have to strategize their plan to win this game. As I mentioned, they started off the game having possession without really creating any goal scoring opportunities. For the possession they had, they didn't really get too many shots off. they have to look at Greenville's weakness, which for me has been the space in between the goalkeeper and the defense. They need to get the ball in behind. They have good speed on the left-hand side with Lelin. I think the more they're able to play in between the gaps, they're going to be able to get more opportunities to get shots off on goal. For Greenville, they've had 8 shots. They need to convert some of those shots into shots on target. 0 shots on target, which will never be goals. So it's going to take a moment of quality, or it's going to be a mistake that really is going to be the defining factor in this game.
Greenville so far, 2 games played in the league. They've scored 4 goals. So they have been scoring at a pretty good rate to start this 2025 season, and now trying to do that tonight. As we welcome you back to Greenwood Fields here on the campus of UNC Asheville, the home field for Asheville City Soccer Club, hosting their first ever US Open Cup match. Just their 2nd year participating in this 110-year edition of this competition.
Josh, I tell you, it's never, unless you're winning 5-0, it's never a good sign of what happened in the locker room when you see the team come out early. Greenville have been on the field for about 5 minutes now before the referee started the game. And I imagine it's because they've gone into the locker room and Rick Wright's told them, he's probably read them the right act and told them, go out there and sort it out. First and foremost, from a competition, a fighting competition standpoint. Maybe they're not losing the game tactically, but from the way the players are applying themselves in the game, he's probably not very happy. He's not happy in the consistency based upon how they performed at the weekend and how they started tonight. And he's probably kicked them out of the dressing room and told them, go and figure it out. He's not going to take responsibility for this one tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond.
Here we go, 45 more minutes with Chris Nurse. I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us. Always exciting when you get a lower league team hosting a higher league team. That's what we have on our hands here tonight. Asheville City, who have been around since 2016, formerly in the NPSL, after 3 seasons, then switched over to USL League 2, where they made the national semifinals last year in the 3rd season under current head coach Scott Wells. Now trying to do what they can against this Greenville side, throwing that ball in. Clay Obara, who is a halftime substitute, so at least 1 change at the break for Asheville. Coming off the field for Obara was Salia Carr. Carr was an outside back in that first half. Here's Zukowski. Cut back into the middle. Herrera trying to lay it off. Anguiano. Too hard for Polak, but it was deflected out. Anguiano steps over a challenge. It's bumped down, but not enough for a foul. Referee handed out 3 total yellow cards in the first half. 2 of them going to Asheville City players. Anguiano. It's Greenville starting on the ball. Remember, if we are tied after 90 minutes, we do go to extra time, 30 minutes, and penalties.
And it looks like Asheville may have adapted their strategy a little bit. As you can see, they're sitting very deep now, allowing the centre-backs for Greenville to keep the ball and just sitting in the low block, which doesn't allow any space behind for Greenville to expose. So it's making it very difficult for them to play forward.
Lee down the line. Zukowski couldn't keep it. And there is Galen Flynn. Anguiano now for Greenville.
It's interesting because with the low block, it looks like Greenville don't have many ideas of how to break it down. It's going to be a case of getting crosses in. It's going to be shots from distance. It's going to be second balls. It's very difficult to play through a low block when they're so close to the goal. And obviously, there's not much space to play in behind. So they're going to have to adapt their style of play to get goal scoring opportunities in this situation.
Long throw incoming. Zakowski gets this one towards the edge of the area. It's headed out of play. And now a corner kick on the way for Greenville. He had 5 corner kicks in the first half.
The last one that came in from Zakowski was the most dangerous. It's going to be interesting to see if Evans can replicate that from this side of the field.
Chance now for an in-swinging ball. Towards the near post, looking for that flick. It's out of play, and it's a goal kick.
It's not a great delivery there. It's not a great delivery at all. He doesn't miss the first man, and he doesn't have much run-up for the corner kick either. If you see the space over there in the corner is very limited, so he has to deliver that with just 1 or 2 steps.
Fricky crashing that near post, the center back. Now it's one back in a good area, but cleared away. We talked about it in the first half, playing out of the back versus trying to send it long. Asheville, on that attempt, trying to play out from the back. It seems like when they've gone long, they've had a little bit more success.
Yeah, I think sometimes playing long can get a bad reputation. There's a difference between just kicking it forward and playing forward with quality and purpose. I think you see in the top teams in the world that they're able to do a good combination of both. They know when it's on to play short, but they're also able to play forward with good quality and purpose.
Trying to flick this forward, Zane Bubb able to play it and clear it upfield. Asheville, though, quick to win it back. Green shirts all around the ball. Going down was Vignali. And now a whistle to send it back to Greenville. Now it's Greenville looking long over the top. Touchdown to play there by Galen Flynn. And 2 players sitting on a yellow card for Asheville.
Oh, like just relieving the pressure there. And now they're higher up the field. They're in an area where they can keep possession of the ball and prod more at this Asheville defense to create goal scoring opportunities. Asheville seem very confident and comfortable to allow them to have possession of the ball in their defensive and middle third.
Pressure here. Castro just got right back to his feet, and Flynn wins a goal kick. Now, playing out has now become a little bit more difficult for Asheville. Greenville upping their pressure, it seems.
Yeah, and you know, I wouldn't say any, but most players at this level can play well when they're under no pressure. The question is how well can you play at the back when you're actually under pressure, when somebody's closing you down at full speed and you don't have a lot of time to make decisions.
Switch the play. It looked like slipped there on the far side and couldn't connect with Cleo Barra. Evans moves it out wide. Greenville on the move again. Asheville trying to race away. Carlson cuts it back infield. The pass ahead. Going to ground was Brennan Creek. Benton wins it back for Greenville. Now Greenville able to settle on the ball again. Polak in behind, over the top for Zakowski. Polak again. Zakowski wants to cut this infield. Zakowski went to ground. Was right in front of the referee. No whistle. Play on.
It's good defending out here on the right-hand side because Zakowski has great quality in that left foot. If you give him time and space to put the ball into the box, he can hurt you. They're doing a good job of shutting him down and showing him his right foot, so he's only got the option to go backwards.
Polak gets it back, lays it off for Evan Lee.
Asheville just condensing the spaces and making it very tight and compact, forcing Greenville to play a lot of sideways and backwards.
Loaded forward, Lee was just a bit too far out in front. He couldn't do much with the header, and taken by Francois Jiba.
Unfortunately, it's more of that Greenville are going to have to do to unlock this Asheville team. They're going to have to get the ball up to Lee, who's strong in the air. They're going to have to look for knockdowns, and it's going to have to be the midfielders coming in on those second balls to finish things off.
Long downfield, Benton up to win the header.
They definitely have a weapon with Jiba's deliveries, whether it's the half volley out the air or he's delivering off the floor. He has a great range on his passing.
Again, looking for that long ball. A second ball won here by Asheville. Shot from distance, pushed away by Torman. That'd be the most dangerous attempt of the night for either side, and it's a corner kick coming.
And it may not be the most aesthetically pleasing style of play, but it's been the most effective effort that Asheville had so far in this game. Again, it's Jiba with a more direct pass. They're able to pick up the second ball in space. He drives forward, gets a shot off from distance, and forces Torman into an uncomfortable save.
Simon Carlson. Carlson, the in-swingers, the heads go up, it's cleared away. Nodded forward again. And the header out of play, but it won't matter because the flag is up for offside.
Good defensive header there in the first place. I think it's Castro, the striker, back in his box doing his defensive work.
So Greenville able to dodge it there. They'll start from the back again. 11 minutes in. Greenville seems to be a bit more comfortable in this second half as it's over the top again. Flag up for offside against Castro.
Both teams choosing to be a little bit more direct in their approach right now. Looking to get the ball forward after just one or two passes in comparison to the first half where maybe they're a little bit more patient or trying to draw the opponents out. Both teams now going in search for that first goal.
74% of the ball for Greenville in this second half. That shows you their intent. You notice they came out very early from halftime and were just standing on the field. Probably a show of intent there from head coach Rick Wright. Creek having to throw this in from the exact right position. Asheville will keep it. Here's Creek. Evan Lee not able to keep that ball in play. Oh! Jiba let that roll by him. He was lucky there wasn't much pace on that. He completely took his eye off the ball. That would have been just an awful way to concede the opening goal in this game.
Definitely a very nervy moment there.
Asheville trying to go quickly. Down the line. And a foul will go back the other way. And just a moment ago, this was nervy moments for Asheville.
Just takes his eye off the ball here. Oh, lucky he was able to recover quick enough. A very scary moment there for Asheville.
Ball came back the other way and trickled out of play, so another goal kick here for Asheville City. Now the halftime substitute, Obara, coming forward. Moved out wide for Brennan Creek. Creek cuts it back, chance to cross, it's lifted in, the heads go up. Not a bad ball in there. Zane Bubb was there to head it away. Now Lee, disrupted in the middle. Greenville still able to keep it. Lee continues his run forward. It was broken up. Flicked forward and all the way back to Francois Jiba again. One touch, and now the distribution right on the money for Clay Obara. A lot of options here. Vignali.
Jiba may have been responsible for playing some of the most key passes for Asheville going forward in this game so far. His distribution from the back's been very good so far.
Kalen Flynn. Around the outside and touch down the line. Looking in field as it comes towards the penalty spot. Anguiano to clear. Asheville starting to find a few moments coming forward as we pass the hour mark. Zukowski now. Flynn did not keep that ball in play. Herrera weaving through, and still Herrera racing to the end line. Touched out of play, throw into Greenville. Another long throw here by Zukowski. One back by Zukowski as he came back inbounds. Herrera. Anguiano. Chance to put this towards goal, and nothing to worry Francois Jiba.
Unfortunately, Greenville are just going to have to keep banging on the door in this way, hoping that something's going to open up. Asheville just doing a very good job defensively. They've kind of adopted their position in this game with Greenville being the aggressors right now and just doing a very good job of frustrating them, not allowing them to get any shots on target, not allowing them to get too many goal-scoring opportunities, and just frustrating them and staying in the game as long as possible, knowing that one opportunity at one moment can change the fortune.
Line.
Interesting style of building out the back again. We see the goalkeeper gives it to the player right next to him, and then the next action after that is a 50-50 tackle. I think they've been more effective when Jiba's played forward.
Long switch of play, and headed back for Seth Torman. The big talk this offseason for Greenville was replacing Liam McKinnon, and Rick Wright had pretty good answer. He said, well, we're still going to play with 11 players, but he thinks they have some guys that can maybe not replace exactly what he did, but do pretty close. Castro could be one of those guys. Couldn't get on the end of that, as this one is nearly turned over again. Eventually, Greenville does get it back. Carlson distributing, and now Asheville coming forward. Options to pick out, maybe a chance to shoot. It's out of play. Giannis Lelin coming forward and not able to connect.
Done well here, Lennon. Obviously, naturally left-footed. You see he shifts his ball to his right, but he's brave enough, went in to take the shot. Unfortunately, he just sees it go wide and high over the crossbar.
Entering the field is number 13, Michael Rempel.
So Michael Rempel will come onto the field to replace Giannis Lelin, player who was on a yellow card and now is off the field.
Surprising, I thought Lelin has been one of the better players for Asheville in his opening 65 minutes. Of course, he just had the last opportunity, but he's been very good on the left-hand side, making runs in behind. He's defended well.
Rempel,
he was one of the more important players on this Asheville team. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt without him now.
Rempel also played his college soccer at Lindsey Wilson College. A few of the Lindsey Wilson guys on the field tonight. Anguiano moving it ahead for Evan Lee. Now Polak.
Smart play from Polak there, just calm and composed. Sees the defender sliding in and just keeps his composure and maintains possession of the ball.
Out of play, just running out of room there on the far side. 20 minutes into this second half, it's been all Greenville, though Asheville really have the best opportunity of the half and maybe of the game. Oh, good skill shown there by Vignali. Rolled through the middle and played up and over the top. Brennan Creek running onto it. Polak coming together there with Obara. There's no whistle. Polak, another player on a yellow card. Trying to slip this through the middle. It's Leo Castro saved. And Chiba able to collect.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Castro's having his heels clipped here. He stays on his feet and does well and gets the shot off, but you could arguably say if he goes down here, he has a good clout for a penalty kick, but Chiba, who's been very good in goal tonight, again, comes up big for his team.
That's one of the better chances of the night for Greenville. Still looking for something to break this deadlock. The likes of Ropapa Mensah or Sebastian Velasquez on the bench could change that for Greenville.
Entering the field, number 10, Sebastian Velasquez.
Speak of the devil, there is Sebastian Velasquez coming onto the field to replace Evan Lee. So a proven attacking presence coming onto the field. Sebastian Velasquez, the 34-year-old.
Interesting, the number 10s for both teams started on the bench. Obara for Asheville, Velasquez for Greenville. Obviously, we know number 10 is not just any jersey. It's normally reserved for a special player in the team.
Flynn stepping forward. Flynn still moving along, trying to connect with Carlson. Heels for handball, but it's play on. Play this into the corner. Isaiah Vignali chasing after it, and it runs out of play.
Well, the whole notion of Greenville having the opportunity to rest some of their starters is completely out the window. It seems like this game is going to go down to the very last minutes to determine a winner. And it looks like Asheville are going to demand that Greenville are going to have to bring out their best game if they're going to be the victors at the end of it. Asheville very much still in this game, fighting for it.
Greenville looking upfield again. Pollock. Velasquez. His first touches since coming on. He's played all over the world in Israel and Korea, but has also played here in the United States. Memphis, Indy, El Paso, Miami FC. Now in his second season with Greenville. Roll through the middle, broken up.
And that's what we spoke about. Greenville trying to play through Asheville, but there's just no space between the lines. There's very tight and compact. It's very difficult to play through them. The second you try to play forward, there's 2 or 3 players surrounding the ball.
This is fired all the way through the box. It came in so quickly, the Greenville players really didn't have time to react to it. And it runs out of play and a throw-in for Asheville.
The space for Greenville is exactly there. It's in the wide areas where they can get crosses in. They've got to try and get shots off from distance. They have to try and threaten the goalkeeper. They have to follow in second balls, hoping that a fumble or the ball bounces off somebody and the opportunity falls right there.
Stoppage here momentarily.
Entering the field.
I think it all stems from Asheville being very disciplined how they're defending right now. When Greenville have the ball at the halfway line, they're trying to suck Asheville out by connecting passes and hoping that Asheville get frustrated and bring their line higher so there's space that they can expose it behind. But Asheville just being very disciplined and holding their line and defending well as a team.
Onto the field to make his Greenville debut is Ropapa Mensah. He was played the last couple of years with the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Previously with Nashville in their USL days, Penn FC, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Sporting Kansas City 2. Mensah in his first year now with Greenville as he enters.
Substitution for Asheville City.
Speaking of Chattanooga Red Wolves, they have come back to tie the game at halftime. They were down 1-0 and they're now tied 1-1 in the 82nd minute.
Oh, another sub as well. It's Robbie Lyons. It's already the 3rd sub of the game for Asheville. They've used 2 windows. 2 windows have also been used for Rick Wright and Greenville, but just the 2 subs. It was Carlos Anguiano who came out for Greenville. It was Josh Baker who came out for Asheville. That sub for Greenville really tells me Greenville's trying to go for this and win it in regulation, as they should want to do so. Ropapa Mensah ahead for Castro, who started this run too early, offside.
Yeah, well, it was a good ball forward from Mensah, but Castro just a little bit eager with his run. You do sense that fatigue is starting to kick in a little bit for Asheville right now, both mental and physical fatigue, and it's normally the mental fatigue that leads to the lapse in concentration or technique.
Asheville able to win this back. Vignali lays it off. The turn ball was behind Vignali there from Brennan Creek.
O'Barra was on the right side in tons of space.
Challenge put in and a whistle. It's the Asheville player that is shaken up. to his feet, Michael Rempel.
We see Greenville trying to suck Asheville out, but as we spoke about, just doing a good job of staying disciplined and keeping their defensive line in their shape.
Down the line again, and a whistle here. It's a foul against Sikowski. Back to Asheville once again.
Greenville's struggling to find ways to break down this Asheville defensive block. Maybe they need to find the likes of Velasquez on the ball, to player who has that creativity and that attacking mindset, who can make something happen out of nothing. At the moment, they're still heavily relying on the defenders to be the ones to play those key passes forward.
Some games have already gone final tonight. Hartford Athletic and Miami FC have moved through. Miami ended up winning that game 4-1. New Jersey Alliance 2-2 against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. All these games just about to wrap up, but here's Carlson for Asheville. Move towards the end line. Now Brennan Creek. Cuts it back, top of the area. Isaiah Vignali. Obara for Creek. Floated forward, it's overhit, and it's out of play. FC Naples has also taken the lead. 3 very late goals in that game. Loudoun United up 3-2 against Westchester United. 4-0 up 1-0 against Texoma. And the 2 scoreless games, our game here, and then FC Motown and Westchester. Polak. Nearly a giveaway, but now Fricky has to chase this down into the corner. Challenge put in against Brandon Fricky by Brennan Creek. Fricky does not appreciate that challenge put in by Creek.
It was a little bit late and uncalled for. I think that was as bad as any of we've seen the tackles that have been given for yellow cards so far in this game.
That's something that Rick Wright told us. Was he was hearing the concerns from some players, and it is a very valid concern of his players, saying we do this for our livelihood. We don't want a rash challenge. Not necessarily that was dirty, but it was late. It was maybe unneeded as well, but that's something that the Greenville players have definitely voiced and have talked about.
Yeah, I think Asheville will use any means necessary to get the victory or to get under the skin of Greenville and to disrattle them. And sometimes if you're the inferior team on paper, you kind of use those things to get an advantage over the opponent. You try to get in the head, you leave a little niggles, you make the game a little bit more physical than they're used to try and get the little advantage or to get the extra inch that you can against them.
Long switch of play, Obara in an offside position, and he does not agree with that.
Yeah, he can see across the whole line in the position that he's in it. Shouldn't really find himself offside in that situation.
Trying to play out, it's blocked down. Carlson tried to flick that one back for Robbie Lyons. He couldn't get on the end of it. Asheville do get it back, Obara. Now Ropapa Mensah.
Polak again has been solid on this left-hand side for Greenville.
Twelve shots to 4. Possession well in the favor of Greenville at this point. Many more passes in this game as well. This Game starting to play out as we thought it might, but still looking for goals.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that possession has come because Asheville decided to take a low block and allow the defenders, allow the centre-backs, allow the goalkeepers to have possession of the ball without threatening them too much. There's been a few times like now in the game where they've decided to press high, but for the vast majority of the second half, they've sat back and just allowed the centre-backs for Greenville to keep possession of the ball, and they've not really been able to hurt them. So while the possession stats do look heavily in favour of Greenville, it's possession that hasn't really hurt Asheville whatsoever, and Asheville is still very much in this game. Ideally, the possession that Greenville would have had would have exhausted the legs of Asheville, and then they would be able to move the ball quickly and find pockets that they can play in between and create goal-scoring opportunities. But that hasn't really been the case. As we said, goal-scoring opportunities, or quality goal-scoring opportunities, have been very few and far between. The lines and distances between Asheville have been good, tight, compact, making it very difficult for Greenville to play forward.
Over the top again. Castro won't get there. It's Francois Giba.
Of those 12 shots that Greenville have had, just 2 have been on target. And on the other hand, Asheville have had just 4 shots, and 2 of those 4 have been on target. So if you were to convert it into percentages, you could see Asheville's chances created are far more efficient than Greenville's right now.
It's Michael Rempel, who was down on the far side of the field.
What's your predictions, Josh? Are we going to extra time and penalties, or do you see one of these teams stealing a last-minute go-ahead goal?
The way it's going, it feels like we're headed for maybe 30 minutes more at least. Both teams have been threatening in moments in this second half. Moved out wide. Way back again, and now the distribution. Headed down the line, out of play. Throw in back to Greenville.
Giba just relieving the defensive pressure, trying to get his team a little bit higher up the field, and he's having to opt to be direct because the short passes in the second half haven't worked effectively for Asheville as they did in the first half in terms of keeping possession. And I think that's a case of maybe the fitness starting to deplete, that lack of cohesion and chemistry that's required.
Brave header there by Zane Bubb, and then he prevents a corner kick. Throw-in, though, for Asheville.
They get the ball back into play quickly before Greenville can get organized.
Nally.
I will say, though, that there's a lot of passes for Asheville that lead nowhere. They had good possession in the attacking third, and they end up now 20, 30 yards back in their own half.
Flicked along. Chance to move this down the line again. And deflected out by Benton for a Asheville throw-in.
They get into dangerous areas where they can play forward and test the goalkeeper and end up playing sideways and backwards. They come back down the other side. I think that somebody in the middle of the park has to take a responsibility of the ball with a little bit more purpose and playing forward and making things happen.
Comes Asheville, bouncing around in the box and eventually cleared. Papa Mensah there for Greenville. Good hold-up play as he looks to distribute out wide, but it was too strong on the pass. Velasquez directing traffic, putting this ball in. Too tall for Castro, chested down by Herrera. And now a chance to run back the other way. Carlson pretty much running alone. Brennan Creek is in the middle. Carlson showing his skill. Asheville, the switch of play. Polak putting in the challenge. It's out of play. And a corner kick. These always so crucial to stage like this.
O'Bara 1v1 trying to go at Polak, but Polak does a good job of patient defending and just stabs it out of play for a corner kick for Asheville. Set pieces so important in a game like this, where legs are getting tired, concentration, focus is becoming tired. Great opportunity here for Asheville. If the ball can be delivered with good quality.
Touched into play. Now the return ball. Trying to put it in the box. It was deflected. Carlson does well to win it back. What can he do with it?
If the ball can be delivered with good quality is the key word. There's an opportunity to put the ball in the box and create a goal scoring opportunity. They play short. They don't get 10 yards away from the corner kick.
Carlson. Seems like Asheville's trying to find that perfect moment when sometimes that perfect moment may never come.
Yeah, it doesn't really exist. You just have to try and create goal scoring opportunities in a game like this on a bad surface. You have to put the ball in the box and make things happen. You're not going to ticky-tack your way all the way to the goal line on a night like tonight against this team on this surface.
Greenville on the move, trying to find a late winner tonight here in Asheville. Now the only scoreless game from some of the early windows, or at least the games that are in the second half. Tulsa Athletic and FC Tulsa still 0-0. That's in the first half. Sikowski's cross blocked. Here's Zane Bubb. More Tampa Bay Rowdies product. Bubb looking into the box. First touch by Mensah on the turn. Mensah, it was blocked and then kept in play by Chiba.
Mensah had the right idea to take the touch and get the shot, but again, brilliant defending from Asheville here. The ball into the box is decent. Mensah gets a good first touch. Look how quick he's able to close down speed there and get the block off. Wong, brilliant defending.
Long over the top. Benton has to put it out of play. Remember, if we are still level after 90 minutes, it's off to extra time. We're still level, it's penalties. Polak directs the header out of play. Throw in for Asheville. There's that long ball over the top again, and it works in Asheville's favor. O'Bara puts it out of play.
I think this game may be decided by a crucial mistake more so than a moment of brilliance. I think it's lacking a little bit of quality in tonight's game, especially in the attacking areas. I think defensively, both teams have defended fairly well, but it's just lacked that creative ability and that player in the attacking third that just has the ability to take the game by the scruff of the neck and make something out of nothing on nights like tonight. The quality in the attacking third is what really makes the difference.
O'Bara. Barr is searching. Back out wide, and it is kept in play by Brennan Creek. Creek moves it ahead. Chance to try to hit this towards goal. It was always going wide by Jay Strine. And we're into the 90th minute.
Ambitious effort there from Strine, but was never testing Torman from that distance.
Torman sends it away. At this stage, it almost feels like a golden goal situation if we do get a goal here in regulation.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see too much additional time.
It's been Asheville, though, on the front foot here these last few minutes as we enter stoppage time. Going to slide this ahead. Benton went to ground. Here's Herrera. Velasquez hops over a challenge.
You would expect going deep into the second half and potentially extra time that Greenville would.
Zakowski puts it in, cleared away.
Be the team that maybe has more depth in their roster. They're able to make changes to sustain the intensity and the pressure, but again.
Only 2 minutes of stoppage time. Velasquez curling this towards goal. There's Francois Giba.
You can see he just mishits that cross. It's not into an area that gives Castro an opportunity to attack. He's doing his best to try and get there, but the delivery's not really made with any quality.
I'm sure Greenville would like to avoid extra time. They don't have a game this weekend. Their next game is not until March 29th. So that's still 10 more days away. They'll have plenty of time to recover after this game. They also played last week. They did not play on the weekend, so fair amount of rest coming in and on the back end as well. Obara puts it back post. Carlson chasing it. A nice little flick there to keep it in play. Carlson puts it back into the mixer. Fricke was up for it to head it away. And a stoppage in play because there was a clash of heads. And a player down here in the box for Asheville. That is Robbie Lyons.
2 crosses delivered into the box here, giving the attackers something to attack. Clash of heads here. Strong defending there from Frick. It's Lyons who's down holding his head.
Lyons still down. Reached 90 minutes here. I wonder if the referee just ends this regulation period with the player down. We were about 15, 20 seconds away from doing that anyway. Lyons now back on his feet. Both teams will get an extra sub and an extra substitution window in extra time.
Asheville will be ecstatic that after 90 minutes, they're still in the fight. Greenville, on the other hand, after coming off a big performance at the weekend, will be very, you could say, deflated at the performance they've had tonight. And maybe even frustrated that they've been unable to reproduce that consistency so far in tonight's performance. I think even if they manage to win the game, they'll be acknowledging it humbly, but I think they'll realize there's still a lot of work to be done to really set themselves apart from the other competitors in the league.
Back into play. Torman just about ready to send this away. Greenville trying to win it late. Evans, that's not going to get it done.
Hey, no, no!
I'm trying to see what Evans was trying to do in that play, and I can't find words for what. Was it a cross? Was it a shot? I'm not quite sure what he was attempting to do in that moment.
It was overhit, is what it was. And that is the end of regulation. The first game in the first round of this Open Cup that will go to extra time. Locked at zeros through 90 minutes.
Asheville will be ecstatic. You can see tired bodies, you can see tired minds, you can see tired legs. But they're still in the fight going into extra time. So they still got an opportunity. For Greenville, I think they need a massive response coming out into this extra time.
And the highlights from the 90 minutes. No goals to show you, but a few chances. And in the first half, Asheville did have the first shot on goal.
Yeah, I think the highlights is maybe some of the defending. There's been some great defending blocks. There's been some great defending tackles. I think most of the highlights that you're going to see is this game. There's not really been too much outstanding attacking play or too much quality in the attacking third, but there has been some very good defensive play displays from both teams.
This play down the line and then cut back for Evan Lee. Found himself in an attacking area. Still in the first half then, as the half continued on. A few chances as well for Greenville, but they just never were really that threatening.
Yeah, we spoke about Wong and Fenwick having to be on their best game to keep Castro quiet tonight, and they've done that. He's been very quiet in terms of getting shots off on goal. Also, Zakowski's been very quiet in terms of creating goal scoring opportunities. Defensively, they've done very well. This was a chance from distance. Forces the goalkeeper to make a pretty big save.
And another chance, just put out of play. That was the last action of the game for Giannis Lelin. Back the other way. This was the big chance of the game for Greenville, and yet Francois Jiba able to make that save. Papa Mensah trying to make an impact as well, but still nothing there.
Wong again with a big block.
And back the other way for Asheville. Nothing doing on the shot from Chase Strine. So extra time, we are tied after 90 minutes, so 2 15-minute periods in full. No golden goal. You can check that off your bingo card for us saying that. And then if we're tied after 120 minutes, we will go to penalties to decide who is moving on to the second round. The team's ready to come back out onto the fields. The first game in this year's Open Cup to need extra time. Or pardon me, the second game, New Jersey Alliance and Chattanooga Red Wolves is already in extra time tonight. So game number 2, 2 League One teams that had to go on the road are in extra time tonight.
Entering the field is number 7. Ben.
So here we go. We are set to go for extra time, and a substitution onto the field. Anthony Patti, the Brazilian, will enter.
Number 2, Anthony Patti.
Last season with Lexington, before that with Albion San Diego in Nisa. And coming off the field, Ben Zukowski. So not able to get anything really going tonight is Zukowski. This is a Greenville team that is already a bit short of players because of a few injuries picked up. So we'll see how deep Rick Wright wants to go into his bench tonight.
Disappointing to see Zukowski go out the game. He's one of the players for Greenville that does have the quality and the ability to flip the game on its head with that left foot that he has. Obviously, they won't have him now for the extra 30 minutes of extra time, but he was one of the players who can make a difference. For Asheville, you know, many of these players are looking for the opportunity to go to the next level, to be scouted or to be recruited or to be signed to teams higher up in the division. So the objective is high. For Greenville, you're expecting them to stamp their dominance on the game and really show why they play in a higher level and a higher competition. And I'm not sure they've done that so far in this 90 minutes. Whilst they have had the possession, they've struggled to create goal-scoring opportunities. They've struggled to be purposeful with that possession. And Asheville have done a good job of keeping them quiet just by staying disciplined, organised, and playing in a low block.
Well, here we go, extra time tonight from Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville City against Greenville Triumph from Greenwood Field. With Chris Nurse, I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us. Still looking for that opening tally tonight. The only game that is second half or later and has not seen a goal yet. Zane Bubb coming forward. Bubb rolling it ahead. Rapapa Mensah. Ball did just stay in play. Now Carlson into space. Michael Rempel putting it towards goal. It's easy for Seth Torman.
Rempel has more time on the border. You would like to see him drive and try and take him on and then pick his pass with quality. He just kind of delivers a hopeful ball into the box there and doesn't really give Carlson a chance to go into the end of it. Really, you're looking to try and find those players who have the ability to play forward, who are comfortable picking up the ball in pockets, in tight spaces and under pressure, and still have the ability to find a way to play forward. What we're seeing a lot in this game is players under pressure and taking the safer option or the option that they feel more comfortable with to play backwards, rather than those risk takers who have that higher level of ability to receive in tight areas, in tight pockets, and find a way to play forward and face forward and create opportunities for their teammates or make passes that break lines.
Move back again for Torman. Pressure high up the field from Asheville, and the clearance out of play. Throw will come all the way to the end line for Zane Bubb.
It's interesting because the moment Asheville apply pressure to Greenville, the next pass is backwards. So if they keep applying pressure, that they eventually get Greenville way back in their half with their goalkeeper. Good defending again, dangerous dipping cross there from Benton, I think, on this right-hand side.
Nally loses it. Benton for Castro. He's the man Greenville's looking towards to score the goals. Already 2 this year in league play for Leo Castro.
If you look at the speed that Greenville are moving the ball with, it's very slow. Despite keeping possession of the ball, everybody's 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, and it's not really moving Asheville too quickly. You see they're able to keep their shape without getting disorganized too much.
Broken up again. Asheville looking upfield. Carlson wobbling forward, now moved out wide for Michael Rempel. Rempel serves the ball in towards that near post.
It's not bad delivery there from Rempel.
And now a foul, and Velasquez, maybe a little bit something extra there for Chase Strine, who took exception.
Strine able to use his body well here to protect the ball and win the free kick from Velasquez. Just gets his body in between the ball and the defender, and Velasquez gives him the double push in the back. See what Asheville have up their sleeve with this free kick. Maybe about 35 yards outside the box. I'll be surprised if he goes direct for goal, but you have some big guys who are good in the air.
Carlson puts it in the mixer. The header is flicked out of play. That was off a Greenville head of Zane Bubb.
Looked like it was going to find its way into the back of the net there. Ends up being a good head away from danger. Cool as a cucumber.
Oh yeah, he was very convinced that was not going in. I wasn't so sure, but it is a corner kick here. Find some space for a run-up here. As it's curled towards goal. Torman forced to punch this one away. Asheville wanted initially. Now Herrera forced out of play. Pressure there by Robbie Lyons.
Another opportunity here for Asheville to get the ball into the box. In the first half, the long throws from this area, they were looking for Lee. Lee's obviously not in the field anymore, but they do have the ability to deliver long throws from this area.
Played short initially, and now Greenville able to work it upfield. Pressure put in by Rempel. Lions. Now Brennan Creek going down. Cleared away. Asheville trying to keep it alive here. It's been a good run of play. Obara gets by Pollock. Obara fires it in and just wide. Asheville getting a little bit closer here. They've carried on that momentum through the end of the second half here in extra time.
Obara does well here. It may be the first time tonight that Pollock's been beaten that 1v1 battle. And then he just drills it across the face of goal. Maybe drills it a little bit too well. Evading Creek at the far post. Just unable to get on the end of the cross.
Velasquez serves it out wide. Velasquez gets it back. Velasquez chipping it forward, cleared away. Velasquez again for Pollock.
Just probing away at this defense, trying to find that unlocking pass for Velasquez right now. But he has to keep playing forward passes. He seems to be the player that does have the ability to unlock this Asheville defense. They have to keep finding him on the ball as high up as they can.
Greenville just trying to keep some time on the ball, but as you mentioned a second ago, a lot of their passes going the wrong way.
Yeah, they were just in a situation where they're able to find Velasquez in situations where he can create going forward, but he cannot do that back in his own half. They need to find Velasquez. If they're going to play through the lines, they need to keep trying to find Velasquez as high up the field as possible. You can see him drifting into wide areas because there's no space in the center of the park.
Trying to switch the point of attack. Here comes Greenville. Pollock trying to let it run through. Evans in there as well. Evans continues on. Evans goes low and it's saved. Francois Jiba keeps it out.
It would have to have been something spectacular from Evans to score from that distance. I think he may have had a little bit more time to get the ball out his feet here and maybe pick out one of his 3 teammates inside the box. Jiba's been in good form tonight, and I'd be surprised if he was beaten from that angle.
Trying to look infield.
I was expecting a lot more from Greenville tonight. Obviously, the result of the weekend was a big statement. But tonight's performance has been a little bit lackluster, to say the least.
Rempel puts this back post! Oh, what a miss for Asheville! Wide open at the back post and put over the bar by Robbie Lyons.
Carlson will wish he had this opportunity back. It's maybe harder to miss than it is to score. He just leans back, and it's probably the one patch of grass on the field that's actually decent, and he finds a way to get it over the crossbar. Absolutely wonderful chance for Asheville to take the lead, and Carlson will be kicking himself these missed opportunities. That's by far the best opportunity, the most clear-cut opportunity Asheville have had tonight. Comes from a great cross from Rempel from this left-hand side. Perfectly timed run from Carlson. Just unable to guide the ball on frame, and it's a big let-off there for Greenville. We were just speaking about their lackluster performance tonight and how they may feel coming off the back of beating Omaha 3-0 and then potentially getting knocked out the US Open Cup against Asheville a few days later.
And the 2 best chances of this game have both come for Asheville. Another ball served in, second ball picked up, chance to shoot. Blocked out of play. Asheville with all of the momentum right now in a quarter kick.
Asheville turning up the heat on Greenville. I'm just watching the body language of Greenville. Something's not right in the way they're approaching this game right now. There's nobody taking leadership, getting people, all guys reacting in the right way, trying to take the game by the scruff.
Played short, the return ball. Now it's skied as it comes into the middle of the field. Turning it upfield. And some English on that ball as it's floated back into the middle. Evans sweeps it clear.
You can see just in extra time now where the fitness for Greenville should be starting to show through and supersede over Asheville. Asheville are actually the ones that are reacting quicker to things, reacting quicker to the second ball, getting to things first, when this should be where Greenville push on and actually show why they're a superior team, and the preseason they've had and the 2 games of the regular season they had, and that's not the case right now. Asheville have the better chances in these 15 minutes of additional time right now.
A free kick will go Asheville's way now. Just a couple minutes left in this first 15-minute period of extra time. We'll have 15 minutes more. Floated forward again. Played through the middle, hard off the chest of Leo Castro. There was some pressure there. Castro wanted the whistle, it never came. And now a back pass, and Chiba able to step up and get it away. Nervy moments there for Asheville.
Well played there from Chiba. Again, Asheville should have recognized there that when the player's down on the ground, they actually have a numerical advantage. It's almost like Greenville are a player down, and that's the opportunity when they can play forward and exploit them. They stayed exactly where they were, playing sideways and backwards passes, and almost made a terrible giveaway. Chiba again coming to the rescue. See, there's a player for Greenville down, which means that they're now playing with just 9 men, and a terrible giveaway. You can see how he reacts. I think it is Rempel who plays that back pass. Lucky to be let off.
And remember, back in the first half, Chiba nearly had a ball trickle in under his foot and bails his team out there as well. You knew as a lower league team, you'd probably have to have your goalkeeper make a few big saves. He did make another big save in the second half as well. So no real surprise that he's had to come up with some moments. And he probably knew that coming in as well. Now the games have begun.
Play acting to the extreme. There's going down in slow motion, and then there's that what Chiba just did. Went down and then paused in slow motion.
Come on, be dangerous here. Find a way to be dangerous.
That is the end of the first 15-minute extra time period. 15 minutes more to come, but still we are searching for the first goal.
We thought we had it there. We thought Carlson was about to tap the ball into the back of the net, and then out of nowhere ends up over the crossbar after a great delivery from Rempel on his left-hand side. By far the best chance of the game so far.
Highlights from what we have seen so far tonight, this extra time period. This a big moment for Asheville. They just kept on putting good balls into the box, and eventually they nearly found a breakthrough.
Yeah, the ball from Rempel that Carlson put over was by far the best chance. Most of the crosses did come from this left-hand side of the field. This is the one time Pollock was unable to defend and got beaten in the 1v1.
And then back the other way. Evans forcing a save out of Francois. But there would also be moments for Asheville City, and what a moment this is.
Carlson will be watching that back time and time and time again should Asheville not advance tonight. What an opportunity that was.
And we will have a second half of extra time coming up. Second half of extra time about to get underway. It's Asheville City and Greenville Triumph. Thanks for tuning in tonight with Chris Nurse. I'm Josh Eastern. No score so far, but 15 minutes more to try to find a goal. Otherwise, we are off to penalties tonight. USL League 2, Asheville City, and USL League 1, Greenville Triumph. There is the whistle, and here we go. 15 more minutes from Asheville, North Carolina. Some of these fans have stuck this one out for 105 minutes. And still a few more minutes plus potential penalties.
Greenville had created, or have had 15 shots tonight. Just 3 of those shots have been on target.
It's kind of the story of this game. Asheville with half the amount of shots, but still a couple on target. I think they've gotten the closest to goal, though, without scoring, as we saw in the first period of extra time. They were right on the doorstep, but put the shot well over the bar. Broken up in the middle.
That's where the tired legs kick in. In that area there, and you win possession of the ball, you're looking for a counter-attack, players making runs forward. But when your legs are tired, unfortunately, your mind might be telling you to run forward, but you just don't have the energy. You end up playing backwards and losing possession of the ball. And Velasco is here now trying to kickstart the attack again for Greenville.
Polak. Weave through again. Is laid off. Patty was forward. And at the feet of Asheville again.
Just no forward options for Asheville right now. Every time they win the ball, they're having to play backwards because there's just nobody to release it to forward. Oh, I don't know how the referees missed that one. He may as well pick the ball up and put the keeper's gloves on.
It looked pretty obvious, and you can see the Greenville fans there on the far side saying, hey, that was a handball.
I guess he must have been giving him a free kick.
It's put towards the box, headed away. Played down the line. Here comes Asheville again. The cross is out of play. Greenville trying to play out from the back again. Polak under some pressure. Moved over the top again and out of play.
Some of the pass choices has been interesting tonight. There's situations where players are 3v1, 3 defenders around them and just one attacker, and they're still being fed that ball when there has to be space for somebody else. When there's 3 defenders just marking one attacker, that means there has to be somebody else in better space to receive the pass. But they're still playing to the player that's surrounded by 3 defenders.
Polak lays it off for Evans. Greenville around the edge of the attacking third, trying to make something happen, but plenty of blue shirts back defending. Carlson trying to move this ball ahead. Vignali! Out of play, the UNC Asheville product, the former Gatorade North Carolina Player of the Year, fires that one out of play.
This wasn't a bad effort at all, and it made the keeper scared a little bit, but you're wondering here, can he get this back onto his right foot when he's 1v1 against the defender and set himself up for a better angle to get the shot off? Great counter-attack there. This is what happens when players still have the energy and the legs to make runs forward. Maybe he doesn't have too much of them anymore after that run, but
he used it all up.
The opportunity came from having the willingness to make the run forward.
Vignali is getting some work done, and there was again, it was him and Patty that got kind of tangled up at the end of that play.
You just wondered if he had the ability to shift that ball onto his right foot. open up his angle towards goal and bend it round the goalkeeper. It was a fair left-footed effort.
Substitution for Asheville City. Entering the field, number 27, Hakeem Morgan.
So Hakeem Morgan will enter this game.
And also entering the field,
And so will Victor Stromsten.
Stromsten. For number 7, Simon Carlson.
Simon Carlson will exit this game. So will Brennan Creek. Carlson has been a force throughout, but his race is run. And now just one more sub available to Asheville City, as it looks like Isaiah Vignali will come on after he's allowed back on after the injury. Well, the Chattanooga Red Wolves have moved on after a penalty kick shootout, beating New Jersey Alliance 2-2 after 120, and then able to advance. Loudon has moved on. Westchester United has moved on. FC Naples as well. The game's in action now. Texoma and Foro about to go into extra time. Texoma-Foro game. 2 red cards have been shown. Both teams are down to 10.
Just 9 minutes remaining of extra time.
EJ Benton cuts it in, moves it ahead. Castro turns it back. Evans keeps it on the deck, still alive in the middle. Rapapa Mensah couldn't get a shot away and cleared out for a throw.
There's been a number of those types of balls into the box for both teams in this game. It's just screaming for anybody to make a run into the area, and there's nobody. Maybe it could have been Polak on that situation. He's positioned on the edge of the box and could just have anticipated that ball coming across. Of course, he's a little bit more defensive-minded, so his mentality is more to defend. But again, in a game like this where you're looking for the go-ahead goal, you need to put numbers in the box. You need players making runs. You have to take those calculated risks in order to score the goals.
Ball sails out of play. And now a chance to put this down on the spot and send it away for Francois Jiba.
Asheville using all the legs that they can. They've made 5 substitutions so far in this game.
Meanwhile, Greenville's only made 3 subs in this game. McWright said there's a few guys banged up, the likes of Rodrigo Robles, the former Asheville player. So you see 3 players on the deck here, and we'll go back to Asheville.
Looks like Fenwick is grabbing his head. Flynn also the receiving on some contact in there, and it looks like Mensah may also be down right now.
And a yellow card to Sebastian Velasquez. Appears that is for dissent.
Had to be something, he says, because he's not one of the players involved in the collision.
The training staff now having to come out onto the field.
Long ball forward there from Bub.
And that's a yellow card.
Fenwick was just kind of wrong place, wrong time.
Juan Sebastian Velasquez.
Well, this is interesting for Asheville. Only 1 more sub available. Alec Kirkowiak is the one on the bench, listed as a midfielder. He's the only field player that has not played tonight.
And with 5 substitutions, you imagine somewhere within those 5, you may have your best penalty taker. Carlson's no longer on the pitch. Creek is on the pitch. Lellin's no longer on. Baker's not on Carr. I wonder how many of those 5 are in there for the penalty kicks. The same thing for Greenville, I envision. Zakowski, I imagine, would have been one of those takers, maybe Lee.
Coaches always say that they need some of their best penalty kickers to be the ones that come off the bench because, as you mentioned, the ones that are on the field may not be there after 120 minutes.
This means the penalties could really be Russian roulette.
That's what makes it fun. The magic of the U.S. Open Cup. Trying to win a corner kick, and that's exactly what Akeem Morgan does. A chance to put some blue shirts in the box and make something happen here for Asheville.
A little more than 4 minutes remaining. Whilst we envision Asheville maybe going for penalties, another great opportunity here to try and steal a goal before the end of regulation, or extended regulation time, should we say.
How many people do you want to put in the box to maybe shield yourselves from a counterattack?
I don't think they'll be sending the keeper up quite yet.
Still 4 minutes. That is not good enough there from the corner. Velasquez chasing after it. He won't get there. Moved into the corner, floated towards goal, Torman!
Oh, the fans are convinced he crossed his line. The fans are convinced, the referee's not.
The AR would have had a great look at that from the near side, and he appears he did keep it out. Back the other way, Jiba will come to collect.
He also doesn't look in any rush to get the ball back into play. Let's see. Oh, his feet are definitely very far behind the line. Not sure about his hands on the ball.
It's the whole ball, remember. Got to cross the whole line. I don't think you can convince me that he did, but who knows? AR had the best look. Here's Leo Castro. Castro sliding it forward, touched into the corner and cleared away. Patty able to win it back for Greenville. 2.5 minutes left. Herrera wins a throw-in. Scooped over the top, Pollock. And out of play again. Pollock sends this in on a line. It's knotted down. Castro keeps it moving, and it's cleared away.
Into the last 2 minutes before we head to penalty kicks.
Is there one final push in this game? Isaiah Vignali coming up to throw this in. Down the line. Chance to cross, near post, and it's steered out of play. Zane Bubb concedes the corner kick. Torman, you felt, would have had an easy catch.
Yeah, he just needed to control his error and demand it there. Bubb ends up making an emergency header out for a corner kick. And again, Asheville have another opportunity here just before we go to penalty kicks.
Everybody crowding around Seth Torman in the 120th minute. The in-swinger near post, looking for that little flick at the near post. They'll get it back again. This one stays on the deck, and Torman is able to hold on to it.
Two dangerous deliveries there. It's a great first ball. Again, good defender in near post. I think it's Frick who heads that one away.
And looking for that near post again. It's Robbie Lyons who was lunging in, trying to get anything on it. Past 120, we might get a few extra minutes here because of the injury. That is all up to referee John Rush. And he's going to stop play for a moment. A yellow card is coming out for somebody on the bench here for Greenville. It's going to, I think, head coach Rick Wright. Rick Wright into the book. Second season in charge of Greenville. Appears we're going to have one more minute
of extra time.
We are moments away from a penalty kick shootout. But right now, Asheville City has a free kick just inside their own half. Lofted forward. Header one. As it comes centrally, not enough blue shirts up there. So I want to be careful about a potential counterattack. Morgan racing with DJ Benton, who's been out there from the first minute. Foul. We'll have to play this back just a little bit to put it back in play. And now everybody being sent forward.
One last chance here to get this ball into the box.
Lofted forward. There's, oh, it's spilled. Jeeba's on the turf, but it's cleared away. And we continue on, maybe a long throw. So it comes in towards the end line. Polak. Velasquez. Can he get a cross away? Velasquez for Polak. Moved out wide. Zane Bob sends it in. The header away. Edge of the area. Evans puts it back in. It's cleared. And it appears there is time enough for a corner kick.
It's been a game of good defending, I have to say it. Both centre backs on both teams have been exceptional tonight.
124th minute. Evans stands over the corner. Towards the near post, headed away, and we are off to penalty kicks in Asheville. No goals through 120 minutes, and we will need spot kicks to decide who moves on to the second round.
And we spoke about where Asheville are in their preparations, and they can hold their heads up in how they've been able to come out tonight and perform against this Greenville team who have, you know, had their preseason, 2 games into the season. They've come out and very much held their own. They had a game plan, they've executed well, they defended exceptionally, and now they stand themselves of a chance of going through for penalty kicks. They're gonna have to be composed, calm, and display quality.
Highlights from these last 30 minutes of action. And there were some good moments, especially for Asheville. This was nearly, but not quite, and then back the other way. Greenville trying to make something happen.
Bob with that header away there, calm as a cucumber. I thought it was going into the back of the net, but he was completely calm. This was probably the best chance of the game for both teams combined. Delivery here into the box. I'm not sure how he misses, but he does somehow over the crossbar, which would have been the deciding goal in this game.
And then a good chance for Vignali, but out of play. And one more chance here for Greenville, more of a half chance than anything. Never really got anything going. And this was a little moment of controversy, but Seth Dorman did keep that one out. So here we go, penalty kicks on the way, coming up here shortly from Asheville.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need
ready for penalty kicks tonight from Asheville, North Carolina, Greenwood Fields. It's Asheville City and Greenville Triumph, USL League 2 versus USL League 1. And no goals through 120 minutes, which means it is a penalty kick shootout. With Chris Nurse, I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for sticking with us throughout the entirety of our game tonight. And basically everybody in the venue has moved to the left side of our camera position to get a good view of these penalty kicks, but they need people away from right behind the goal. I think that is more of a sporting measures to keep the integrity of the competition, if you will.
And I think this little delay actually plays in favor of the goalkeeper. As you can see, Ibarra is already at the penalty kick, a penalty spot, waiting to take his kick. And normally these little delays go in favor of the goalkeeper more so than in favor of the attacker.
Clay Ibarra, who played for the Charlotte Independents last year, played his college soccer at James Madison, came on as a second half sub, will take the first one tonight, a 24-year-old. These games, such big opportunities for some of these Asheville players more specifically. They want to play pro soccer. This is a great stage to prove your worth. Now here we go. Ready for this penalty kick shootout. Ibarra against Torman. And Ibarra, oh, he goes with the Panenka!
Nerves of steel.
What a way to start it tonight in Asheville.
Nerves of steel. We spoke about the extra delay probably having a negative impact on him, but definitely not. Keeper goes down early and he just chips it down the center of the goal.
Now the first kick taker, Connor Evans, his first pro season. Played his college soccer at Stanford and then Portland. Portland, Oregon, his hometown. He's far from home now, and he's trying to equalize after the first round. Evans counting off his paces. Francois Jiba in goal for Asheville. And a stoppage here. I think Evans asked the referee to make sure the goalkeeper wasn't moving. Evans will go through his routine again. Evans scores. A little bit right of center. Regardless, it's 1-1 after one.
Straight down the middle here. Keeper goes early. Composed, confident. We're tied.
Awaiting the next kick taker here for Asheville, which is the substitute Hakeem Morgan. Came on in extra time. And now we'll try to start off this next round. The Loyola Marymount product out of San Jose, Costa Rica. Morgan hesitates and scores. 2-1 to Asheville, middle of the second.
Into the side net, and keepers don't save those ones. The little star step sends the keeper the wrong way, guides it into the back of the net. We had to wait a long time to see some goals, but they're coming thick and fast right now in the penalty kick.
That's what you'd hope for. Here's Tyler Pollock now for Greenville. The most experienced player, one of the most experienced players on the field for the Triumph. Trying to equalize after two. Pollock puts it in the corner. Cool, calm, collected from the 32-year-old.
Places it with accuracy into the corner. Knows where he's going, never any doubt. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way.
2-2 after 2. Asheville coming back to the spot to start this third round. And stepping up, Victor Stromston came on late in this game and trying to start off this third round, the Elon University product. Stromston, it's saved! Seth Torman making an impact in this shootout. His debut for Greenville.
Torman just gambles here, diving to his left, and he guesses the right way. Gives Greenville the advantage now.
And now it is another one of those experienced players, former USL League One Defensive Player of the Year, Brandon Fricke. 32-year-old stepping to the spot to try to give Greenville an advantage. Fricke goes for power and puts it in the top corner. Great pen.
Mr. Reliable, I'd say, Mr. Fricke. He's been a rock at the back tonight for Greenville. And they can count on him from the penalty spot also.
So Greenville with the advantage here. And Asheville in a position where they pretty much have to score. Robbie Lyons steps up. He had the chance on this same goal to win it. He couldn't put it away. And now he needs to score this one. Lyons puts it in the top corner, matching Brandon Fricke. And now a massive kick upcoming.
Great finish there from Lyons. High into the roof of the net. Risky, it's always risky when you go high, but converts with confidence. Gets the crowd pumped. Going down to the wire right here.
Definitely some Greenville fans in the crowd tonight. And this is the new signing on his Greenville debut, Rapapa Mensah. Very experienced striker all across the USL. And Mensah stepping up, trying to put Greenville on the precipice. Mensah has it saved! Francois Jiba! Life again for Asheville.
And we're tied, both penalties saved in exactly the same way. Low into the goalkeeper's left. Jiba has brought Asheville back to life.
Well, now we enter this fifth round, all squared, 3v3. Asheville now trying to take the lead. And oh, it's off the crossbar! The most experienced player for Asheville, Johnny Fennick. And Greenville in the driver's seat again.
He went with the power, but just a little bit too much power. Look at the ball, rockets off the crossbar. Greenville have matters in their own hands now. If they're able to convert this penalty kick, they will find themselves in the next round.
And it's Sebastian Velasquez trying to win this for Greenville. Maybe didn't have their best stuff tonight, but a chance to win it here on the left foot. Sebastian Velasquez scores, and Greenville Triumph are moving on to the second round of the US Open Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Greenville find a way to stay in the hat for the next round, but with humility. It wasn't a great performance tonight, but they found a way to win the game in the end.
The celebration on in Asheville. Great pen.
Yeah, great finish there from Velasquez. Confidence, so many games under his belt. He's been in this situation many times before. But I think, honestly, Greenville have to go and reflect how they performed tonight. Needs to be a lot more consistency, a lot more quality, and they need to improve as the season continues.
What a game this turned out to be. No goals for 120 minutes. But it is Greenville that is moving on. So celebrations tonight for Greenville as we look back on this one again. Plenty of chances throughout, but in the end, nothing to be in terms of goals through the run of play.
Yeah, up until the penalty kicks, the standout performers in tonight's game were most definitely the defenders for both of these teams. A couple of shots from distance, forcing some awkward saves from the goalkeepers, but there was one big chance that Asheville had in extra time that they weren't able to convert. Gibril, a fairly straightforward save here, but a lot of good defending throughout the course of this game for both teams.
Asheville had a few chances of their own. This one, nothing doing for Chase Strine back the other way. There would be more opportunities for Asheville. Greenville would get a few chances of their own with Connor Evans. This was kind of how this game went. There just weren't that many great chances throughout.
This was the best chance for Asheville. Straight to the box. You thought that Carlson was going to bury this into the back of the net, and somehow it finds its way over the crossbar. That was the best chance of the game.
And Isaiah Vignali, who played his college soccer here in Asheville, puts that one out of play. And it was kind of a scramble here. Papa Mensah couldn't get anything going. And some maybe controversy here with Seth Torman.
Yeah, the fans were convinced that he crossed his line with the ball, but
big save there. Off the crossbar by Johnny Fennick. And then Sebastian Velasquez wins it for Greenville. So celebrations tonight here in Asheville as Greenville will take the 59-mile drive back to Greenville with their name in the hat for the second round. And that will do it for our coverage tonight from Asheville, North Carolina and Greenwood Field for our entire crew. Broadcast partner Chris Nurse. I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Asheville.